Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you are new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
The next calculated measurement that we will see is how to calculate number of countries. Number of countries. Calculation is nothing serious. But then say, suppose you have a data set which contains countries. The same there are 6 countries, but you have say, suppose 1,000 campaigns. For 1,000 campaigns are split across various countries, or say 1,000 campaigns are split across countries that you are not aware of. In the data set you received the countries and you want to know like what are the unique number of campaigns, the unique number of countries that are there for which the data shows up. For that as well, you can use a calculated measurement with using the formula of distinct count. It's like how to quantify dimensional values using a calculated measurement, and then we will see what window functions are. Again, window functions are also window functions are also one type of function which is used to provide context to the calculation that we are doing. Simply to assess and analyze the geographical exposure of the campaigns. If we see the campaigns column and we see that numerous columns going by here in the example, we see Italy and we see the numerous columns are, and we are not sure like what, like what are the here, that it is showing one country, but say, suppose you have around 15, 16, 8, 20, whatever countries you have right at that point of time, what you want to do is you want to use a function called distinct count. Again, when we are in this example, people do sense check of data. Sense check of data helps us to, think about the visualizations. Even whenever we are just, and it's not a premeditated thing, that I have my data, and in the email it is mentioned that there are the data is for 4 countries, and I'll go ahead and I'll close my eyes and I'll start creating the widget. But no, always, whenever you receive any form of data, any kind of data, please do a sense check for yourself. That will help you know what are the components of data, and you are now aware in your mind that you know what. When I need to progress keeping all these factors in mind that I don't struggle with it later. Again, calculated measurements are workspace level. It is a quick setup that helps us, and it's easy to update as we go along. What we will do is we will go to measurements. We will create a measurement name. We'll name it as number of countries. Now, when we see number of countries, and the type will be numeric, of course, because it's a number. Before I before I go to the formula, always explore these two things. First is the measurement type declaration. Whenever you are doing a calculated measurement purpose, and then look into the advanced option of granularity and aggregation, you will. I have seen at times when we do a table calculation, and when we create a table in our visualizations, I have realized that often what happens is you do like a click divided by impressions to find your CTR. but you will see that below where the totals are shown, that comes as 0. That is something that comes because, unless we set, because the aggregation is firstly in the, you see in the below in my screen, which I have taken a screenshot. It is showing auto right aggregation function by default is at auto, and whenever you do a calculated, like say click divided by impression, or clicks divided by cost, or sorry, cost divided by clicks, or something like that. Whenever you do that, what happens is Datorama does the calculation correctly, but then it fails to aggregate and show you in the table. All right. When that kind of a scenario happens, we need to look into the advanced setting, which is over here, the advanced setting, and we need to check the granularity and aggregation methods being used. And once we are done with that, we will see that in the table calculation as well, the totals will show up, or else it sometimes fails to show up the totals. Again, as we saw yesterday, we need to go to functions. We need to type, like you type distinct and you get distinct count. How distinct count? Syntax is distant count. Syntax is basically, distinct count, of course. What do you count? Is your dimension over here. We will count the number of countries. We will count this like what is the distinct number of countries present in here, and then we will have the context dimensions. Context dimension is nothing but the but, providing the formula with the context to perform its calculations. Why a context is needed in these functions which are at workspace level. And why not in the data stream levels are because all data stream formulas are very particular, and data stream, but formulas are very much meant for the data stream we are working on. But when we are creating any form of calculator, dimension, or measurement, it is at a workspace. The formula has a tendency of calculate everything, that we want, right? If you want the count of a dimension called country name or a country, whatever, what will happen is it will start calculating the country for all the, for all the data streams in my workspace. Wherever there is a column called country or a dimension called country is present, it will start calculating on that context. What is wrong over here? Nothing is wrong over there, but what is that a context will do? A context will always make it calculate based on the campaign name. If a data stream doesn't have a campaign name, will it not calculate? It will definitely do. But when we do give a context to a formula, what happens is it becomes accurate. It becomes it calculates based on the keeping in mind that I need to calculate this, keeping in mind that I need to slice the dimension campaign. When someone chooses campaign, what it should do is it should give the accurate value per campaign. Else, if you don't give the context, what will happen is wherever there is a country column present, what it will do is it will give you the count of those number of countries in your data stream. But definitely, I have seen a calculation with context, and I have seen a calculation without context. In the same context, I have not seen any difference happening. But people do use window functions because window functions help them give, help them supply with the actual row that they want to see, and they want to have an accurate calculation. by providing a context in there. This context dimensions what we give. This is also called a window function, and window functions are often used with the normal aggregation functions that we have, and with any other function, like not only number aggregation functions, but all the whatever functions you can think of, and wherever context is necessary, those window functions can be used along with what we were discussing, distant count and count of country, along with contextual dimensions. That's what we were talking of, window functions. Is basically, which basically can be given as campaign key that we want, each campaign key value is considered as one window for which it starts calculating the district counts aggregation function. That's what I was talking of earlier. Aggregation function is set to auto, and it will be auto by default. What we need to do is whenever we have a calculation, we need to go and check our aggregation function, and we need to fix it accordingly. And whenever we have recognized what kind of aggregation we need to put it some count, accordingly, average, and we need to see the calculation. If we had a situation whereby we have campaign key country, and after we have created our measurement, what we need to do is we need to apply that. And when we do that, let's look at the first box, campaign key 706919, which has the campaign key of 76919, and it has 3 countries. What we expect is 3 countries coming on. Let's look at the second thing, campaign key 712639. It has 3 countries. What will happen is it is showing the 3 countries that are presented there, and likewise the campaign key over there. When we have distinct count will always be valid on the campaign key and country, as we have provided with this distinct count country 3, the next one also 3, and the next one is 5. We need to keep in mind that we need to use distinct count type of functions, which is one of the application functions while we are working with. That's it, I believe. Another thing whereby we want the distinct count of all the countries that are present, and I don't provide a window function. What will do is it will provide me with, not provide me, but it will now calculate by keeping no context. What will do is it will calculate all the country columns that it sees, dimension called country. It will calculate, and once you when you use it as a part of your data stream, it gives you the right answer that I've seen. That's it. And once you have it set, now you can use it as part of a geographical. You can use it as a part of the geographical charts and stuffs. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.